2019 Renault Zoe hatchback review. Renault is usually a trailblazer on the subject of affordable electrification, and also the Zoe hatchback, having its claimed 250-mile range, is regarded as the convincing fossil fuel alternative this side of any Tesla. Rivals much like the Nissan Leaf and Smart 4 electric drive can't match the French car's range, and even though a conventional hatchback such as Skoda Fabia could prove cheaper to perform, it doesn't offer zero tailpipe emissions. It's worth keeping in mind that electric car ownership remains to be a bit more complicated as opposed to plug-and-play nature that auto producers would have you believe. This full article on the Renault Zoe will show exactly how realistic WEF ownership is perfect for you. Renault Zoe is perfect for urban driving. In town, the Zoe feels very swift off the line on account of the instant torque of the electric motor. This produces 92 horsepower, or 88 horsepower dependent upon version, and 220 Nm of pulling power. While the primary 30 miles per hour feels brisk, the Zoe's punch does tail off around the way to motorway speeds, providing a 0 to 62 miles per hour duration of in 13.5 seconds. That figure is approximately as relevant because 84 miles per hour top speed, though, this is usually a car which will spend most of the life inside the city with occasional jaunts further afield. Capable as high as 250 miles per charge. Like another plug-in vehicle, the foremost concern for potential Zoe buyers could be the car's range. Renault affords the Zoe using a choice of two batteries minus 22 kWh and 41 kHw, giving a theoretical variety of 149 and 250 miles respectively. Here's where it gets to be a bit complicated though, because in fact the range might be a little shorter than this, determined by factors, for instance driving style, aircon use, and also the weather, surprisingly. We've detailed just how this works within the performance section. How long it'll choose to use charge can also be a movable feast. Together with two battery types, there is another quick charge option. This may exactly what it says within the tin, along with a variety of different speed charging points make use of. Again, we'll explain this fully later from the performance section. For some context though, the most important battery takes 15 hours to charge employing a domestic plug, but over an hour or so on a fast charger. Don't forget battery leasing. As well as purchasing or financing your vehicle, your next biggest pricing is the battery. You can either buy this outright or lease it from Renault, the second option covering you in the event that it goes wrong. The government still gives a £4,500 plug-in vehicle grant, meaning the Zoe's monthly costs on the PCP are competitive with petrol or diesel alternatives. However, you can expect to aspect in an additional £49 to £110 30 days for the battery based on annual mileage. As such, the Zoe is simply really a clean and cheap replacement for the internal combustion engine, providing your thoughts matches its group of attributes. Watch this full Renault Zoe review if that's the situation. Very quick to get over mark. Slower to accelerate away. Only one gear, much like driving a car. Renault Zoe performance comes due to an electric motor with 92 horsepower and 220 Nm of torque. The quick charge version has slightly less power, at 88 horsepower, but we don't think you'll notice. This means a 0 to 62 miles per hour duration of 13.5 seconds along with a top speed tied to 84 miles per hour. Not figures to create the world ablaze. Even so, the good news is that it feels nippy around town centers. The pulling power is obtainable no matter where you are inside rev range, which implies it feels sooner than it is. There's instant go there once you plant your foot. It does tail off slightly as when resistance starts to become a factor, but we're unsure many Zoe buyers are going to be hitting motorway speeds for too long. Well, not as long as they want to look anywhere near the automobile's maximum range. Not so quick around the motorway. Effectively, it only has one gear, therefore it works exactly like an automatic. You simply pull the apparatus lever into D and you're ready to go. One thing that can jolt if you're accustomed to driving combustion engine cars could be the regenerative braking. When you take your foot off of the accelerator, the Zoe automatically sets out to slow down so as to charge it. With some practice you can easily drive using just one single pedal, by pressing the accelerator to look faster and releasing it to slow. What could be the Renault Zoe's range? Right, this is often a bit complicated. Nevertheless, the headline 250-mile range with the Renault Zoe is usually a theoretical figure based around the most powerful battery. For the smaller 22 kWh version, this number is 149 miles. Renault says in fact you should expect slightly a lot less than this, with 180 miles quoted for summer driving, dropping to 115 miles in the winter months. Obviously kids is dependent with your driving style, whether you've got the oxygen concept to Baltic, and the way many passengers you're conveying, but that's not different to the standard car. How long does a Renault Zoe decide to use charge? How long is really a piece of string? Without being awkward, this really depends upon several factors. There's 2 different battery sizes and 4 sorts of charger. Renault Zoe batteries are available in either 22 kWh or 41 kWh, that has a fast charge option within the latter. Obviously the more expensive option takes longer to charge. In the UK you will find currently 3 charging speeds, helpfully called slow, fast and rapid. You'll want to make use of the second 2 with all the Zoe. We've laid out what you should be expecting below, and all of figures listed below are laid out in this way: 22 kWh/41 kWh/41 kWh quick charge, for simplicity. Slow charge, 3 kilowatts. This describes an ordinary domestic 3-pin plug, that may take, to be honest, ages to charge your Zoe. Expect 9 hours/15 hours/15 hours 30 minutes, for a specified duration to make ownership an uncomfortable proposition. Fast charge, 7 kilowatts single or 22 kilowatts 3-phase. Thankfully you should have a single-phase wall box positioned in your home totally free. This special plug charge your car in 3-4 hours/7 hours 30 minutes/8 hours 30 minutes, quick enough for the nighttime fill. Outside the property you'll find 3-phase charge points, which might be quicker still, -1 hour 45 minutes, 80%/2 hours 40 minutes/2 hours 40 minutes. These are sometimes placed in workplaces and public car parks and in most cases need a subscription to utilize. Rapid charge, 43 kilowatts. The fastest of chargers, currently, is normally found at motorway service stations and charges your car or truck to 80% in 60 minutes/1 hour 40 minutes/65 minutes. Light, feedback-free steering. Easy drive an automobile but not sporty. Great in-town agility though. On the path the Zoe can be quite easy to operate a vehicle. It has light steering, which although absolutely lacking feedback, is sharp and responsive. The car is incredibly easy drive an automobile in tight spaces as a result of its small turning circle, while parking isn't difficult due to excellent visibility, helped further because of the reversing camera, standard on signature nav, optional on other trims. It's not just a performance car, and that's highlighted from the amount of body roll the Zoe exhibits when cornering. It doesn't become unruly, but repeated enthusiastic cornering probably will have rear seat passengers reaching for that sick bag. Unusually for just a high-tech modern car, the Zoe actually uses the standard handbrake in preference to the more common electric type. High driving position. Simple, ergonomic controls. Digital screen replaces dials. The very first thing that strikes you about sitting in the driver's seat of the Zoe is the place where high the driving position is. In front from the driver is often a swish-looking dash that displays information including vehicle speed and charge remaining. You can select many different graphics schemes and it'll also provide you with if you're in eco mode you aren't. The 7.0-inch touchscreen sat-nav method is placed within the center in the dash and seems very an easy task to operate. It is clear as well as simple, and appears good too on account of the gloss black and chrome touches. Other controls are an easy task to operate too. There's a stereo stalk behind the steering wheel, and also the air conditioning switchgear is large enough to simply operate. In comparison to its interior construction, the Zoe feels very futuristic, and you can find a choice of different plastics, several of which feel a little bit cheap. Comfy seats set high up. Could do with more bolstering. Impressive ride quality. Comfort levels are fairly high inside the Renault Zoe. The front seats are supportive and cozy. The medial side bolstering does its better to hold you in position through enthusiastic cornering. It's an extremely quiet destination for hobby. There's merely the slightest of whispers on the electric motor, while wind and road noise simply aren't a problem, certainly out. The ride quality is impressive too. Bumps and holes from the road are consumed well. That is going to be an enormous bonus for UK drivers. There can be a trio of technology levels available within the Renault Zoe: Expression nav, Dynamic nav and Signature nav. Standard Renault Zoe equipment. The entry-level Expression nav model includes 15-inch wheel trims, digital dashboard, cruise control and speed limiter, automatic climate control, Renault R-Link multimedia system on 7.0-inch touch screen, TomTom Live navigation. Dynamic nav models have long-range Z.E 40 battery providing 250-mile range, 16-inch alloy wheels, chrome front grille surround, black dynamic nav upholstery, leather-covered wheel, automatic lights and wipers, uprated stereo, rear parking sensors. Signature nav trim sits at the top of the product range, featuring 16-inch alloys, signature sill plate and badges, premium, synthetic leather upholstery, bronze-colored accents, electrically folding door mirrors, heated front seats, Bose 3D sound. Renault Zoe optional extras. There's very little choice here other versus the blue interior touch pack, which adds colorful touches towards the interior of the automobile, as well as some different interior mats along with a boot protector. Renault Zoe rated 5 stars by Euro NCAP. 3 ISOFIX mounts, 1 front and 2 back. Simulated engine noise to warn pedestrians. There isn't large volumes to worry about regarding Renault Zoe safety. A 5-star Euro NCAP crash testing score highlights what amount work continues to be done in the lamp to help warn pedestrians of that approach. The Zoe emits a solid when traveling at speeds all the way to 18 miles per hour. This may be developed with aid from visually impaired individuals who may not realize there is often a car inside their vicinity unless they will hear it. Standard safety equipment includes ABS and escape electronic stability control, driver, front passengers, side and head airbags. 3 ISOFIX points, found about the front passenger seat and outer rear seats. There are ISOFIX child seat lashing points around the outer rear seats and also for the front passenger seat. Perhaps of all concern to prospects buying an electrical car, many measures have already been introduced to prevent problems using the high-voltage electrical systems inside the event of a direct impact. Of course, there's also the host of electronic safety systems you observe on most new cars these days, including stability control and traction control. There's a speed limiter and cruise control functions. Lots of passenger space inside the Zoe. High seating position means a stride up. Boot space measuring 338 1,225 liters. It's worth noting that practicality depends largely about how it's gonna be used. For zipping around cities it's a totally serviceable tool, yet its range, cabin size and luggage capacity means longer journeys might be best left to bigger vehicles. There's space for 5 within the Zoe, but at location, underneath the seats, means there's a little step up to acquire into the automobile in the first place. Those within the back gain from a flat floor though, as there's no transmission tunnel running the length of the auto. Compact external dimensions belie the quantity of room inside. The Zoe is approximately the same size as being the Renault Clio but feels roomier inside. A jolly decent 338 litres of boot space, expanding 1,225 litres once you fold the seats down, not class leading but on par with hatchback rivals.